Hey agents, so title update 14 just dropped today, and although it did come with some unfortunate news, there was one change that really stood out to me, and that was to Striker's Battlegear. Any Division 1 enthusiast will probably be very happy to see this change, because since its debut in Division 2, Striker has been completely useless due to how easy it was to lose stacks, and we all remember Striker being the king of gear sets in Division 1. Now, I don't think this change is enough to make it top tier, but it's definitely a step in the right direction, making it a very viable set now. So the changes were, you no longer lose stacks on missed shots, but you lose 2 stacks per second. So in case you forgot, previously you lost 2 stacks per missed shot and 1 stack per second. Losing 2 stacks per miss was way too punishing, and you could only even consider using Striker with an AR at close range in order to hit all of your shots. But you may be thinking, 2 stacks per second seems like a lot, but not at all. You'll see in my gameplay that the stacks deteriorate very slowly even when I'm out of combat. I, for one, was very excited about this change, so I immediately came to Lincoln Memorial and tried it with ARs and SMGs for starters. Here, I'm running it with one of my SMG builds that I tested. Let's take a break to just review the build. For anyone who wasn't aware, the 2 and 3 piece bonuses for Striker give you 15% handling, which is really nice because that's 15% of each recoil control, accuracy, reload speed, and swap speed. Then 15% rate of fire, which is basically like another 15% DPS. Then the 4 piece gives you a stack for each hit landed. Each stack gives you 0.5% amplified damage, and a max of 50 stacks, which would be 25% amplified damage. That is extremely strong. It's basically like having glass cannon without the glass. I'm running this with Intimidate, which gives you 35% amplified damage whenever you have bonus armor, which is the blue armor, and are within 10 meters of your target. At max Striker stacks plus Intimidate, you're getting 60% amplified damage. That is absolutely crazy damage. Finally, I'm running the Memento Backpack. I absolutely love this piece when running solo PvE. Kills drop trophies, and when you pick them up, they give you damage, armor, and skill bonuses. And that includes bonus armor, so it will proc Intimidate. Then, the more trophies you pick up, you keep getting stronger and stronger. Plus, you get a skill tier, 180,000 armor, and 15% weapon damage. This is also great because when running a shield, which I am, you get 2 tiers on it from the blue and yellow core attributes. So basically, once you pick up a trophy to proc Intimidate and have your Striker stacks, this build absolutely shreds. And it continues to do so because the stacks deteriorate so slowly. My only concern with Intimidate though, was that once you get to a heavy and you don't have any other NPCs to collect trophies from, you're going to have a bit of a hard time killing them. Because if your bonus armor runs out, or you can't get within 10 meters, bye-bye Intimidate. So my thought to counter this was to change from Intimidate to Obliterate. Obliterate also runs on stacks. You get 1 stack per critical hit and a maximum of 25 stacks. Each stack gives you 1% total weapon damage. It's still multiplicative damage, but not quite as good as amplified damage. Also, it's 10% lower than Intimidate. The benefits are, you don't need to be within 10 meters, and you don't need any bonus armor to proc it. And with a weapon like the Vector or any high RPM gun, you'll have no problem building up these stacks quickly. So after testing both Obliterate and Intimidate with Striker, I definitely noticed a drop off in damage when using Obliterate. But Obliterate will always be there for you. Had I had it against the rogue agents, for example, I probably would have had an easier time against them, because I would have been able to stay a safe distance from them and not rely on finding trophies for the bonus armor. Anyways, Both Obliterate and Intimidate are very powerful with this build. So if you've only got one or the other in your inventory, either will do. Also, the brands that you'll want is either Grupo for the 15% crit damage, or Sokolov for the 10% SMG damage. The difference in overall damage is negligible when choosing one over the other. Moving on, I also tried this with ARs. I chose the FAMAS because of its high damage and RPM. Also, the weapon handling is great for the FAMAS. I'm running measured on both the FAMAS and the Vector for my SMG build. My reasoning here is, although measured doesn't give you a great overall damage boost, the first half of the magazine is 20% increased rate of fire, which is what we need to help build stacks faster. Then I chose Obliterate because with ARs, you're not always going to want to stay within 10 meters of your target, so Intimidate wouldn't be as effective. And, of course, the Memento Backpack. Again, using a shield to play aggressive and collect the trophies. This build is certainly not as strong as the SMGs, but if you prefer using ARs, it's still very strong and very easy to build striker stacks. I'm also running a Revive Hive as my second skill, just in case, but to be honest, in all the testing I did, I never used it once. And my specialization was the Technician, strictly for the +1 tier to beef up my shield a little more. Finally, each build had 3 blues and 4 reds. The great thing about gear sets is it's easy to be able to roll them to armor because they only have one attribute. So making this build is actually pretty easy. The crit damage on these builds is pretty low, but that's not an issue because of all the amplified damage we're getting from the talents. But if you're running Obliterate, make sure to have the 60% or close to 60% crit hit chance, as this talent stacks on crits. If you run Intimidate, it's not as important to have maxed out crit chance. I've got one last tidbit. I jumped into the firing range out of curiosity to test the rock and roll, and I was actually pleasantly surprised. Compared to even the Vector, this weapon builds striker stacks ridiculously fast. So even if you're not running a shotgun build, you could just fire off a few shells of your rock and roll or ACS-12 to max out your stacks and then swap to your primary. Just an option. Anyways, those are my 2 cents on the new Strikers Battlegear. I highly recommend you give this a try. I'll be testing it out in PvP tomorrow and hopefully have the results before too long. But with Baby Blind hogging my schedule, no guarantees. Thanks for watching, agents. Now get out there and farm some Striker.
back up. The team from the campus has taken position inside the memorial. If you hadn't stopped them, I know they would have used those weapons on us, and we would have ended up like Castle. I can't tell you how many I am to have you on our side. Thank you. Today, we
Got a visual on additional hostiles in the Memorial compound. They're moving south. There's a gate between you. It looks closed from here.
Agent, you'll need to find a way to open that gate.
Hey! Get away! No, wait a minute! I'm setting up current!
All clear. I repeat, the compound is all clear.
No, that can't be all of them. Check the interior while I get Henry's people to maintain the perimeter.
I can't see shit.
Trusons have turned the memorial into a base. There's an area beneath you with increased security. Isaac can't access data on this location. Stay alert. Have to know what you're walking into.
According to the schematics Isaac pulled upstairs, we can lock that tunnel door from their control center. That should keep them from being able to transport those mortars loaded with DC-62.
Get away from me!
I see you.
They're coming! You're gonna die today!
That should keep them from getting more of those mortars.
You think closing the tunnel was smart? Fuck you! You locked yourself in with us. I'm
Should have stayed out of it! I see him!
Good work. Go on and head back up. The team from the campus has taken position inside the memorial.
If you hadn't stopped them, I know they would have used those weapons on us, and we would have ended up like Castle. I can't tell you how relieved I am to have you on our side. Thank you.
Today, we dealt a great blow to the True Sun's infrastructure. We confiscated a massive cache of chemical weapons. You saved a lot of lives today.